everybody, welcome back. I'm Tim. This is Headgear Garage. I realized in editing the last video on the Jeep TJ that I failed to show completion of all the different things we did, and I never showed any video of the tailgate. So me installing the new tailgate. So I'm going to throw some of that in at the beginning of this video, and then we're going to move on to putting on the parts we need for the check engine light, which is an O2 sensor, upstream O2 sensor, and a power steering pressure sensor. Plus I also have a new oil pressure sensor to put on it because the one that's in it is pegged out. And then we'll see if we can't get the check engine light to clear and take it for that test drive we started last week and couldn't get to. But for now, so let's go over the what we did last week. So as you saw, I put in a new grill. So this is the finished product on it. Now I didn't put this plastic piece back in here yet, so that'll go back in there. But you can see it fits a lot better than it used to. It still needs shifted just slightly this way, but I got a plan for that. The new hood, this hood is so much better. It is by no means in great shape, but the other one had a big old whammy right here. Most of the paint was, clear coat was all gone, and big hunks of paint were just chipped off and in bad shape. This one's gonna need a repaint eventually, but for now it's fine. This is the fender I replaced and we did the body work on, and then I sprayed it, and if you know, here you can see the body work and you can feel the body work, but again, like I said, this is at best a temporary, just to get me through some a little bit of time, at least a year out of it. Here's the cowling we repainted and reinstalled. I also went through and repainted the windshield wiper blades. They were all rusty, so they look good now. And last but not least, and this thing was sitting outside and it's snowing here today, so it's a little dirty. But last but not least, we got the new tailgate on, and these hinges actually work, so you can reach down and just pop it right open. And it just swings, look, just swings. It's still a little stiffer, but it's probably just about perfect. I don't have a strap yet. I got to get a strap for here so that it doesn't overswing. But yeah, as I said, I will throw me installing this tailgate on, I'll throw that footage on there. I don't know, I apologize for that. I just somehow flat missed it in the editing, so. Give it a try. Yeah. Hey, could call that a win. Okay, I think we got the tailgate back together and lined up pretty decent. Gaps look like gaps. I don't know. We did get the third tail light working. The third brake light, excuse me, working. I went to clean it, and both screws snapped off immediately. They were just rusted, snapped off flush in the plastic. And so I was like, I don't know. The only way to fix it honestly, is to just replace this whole plastic piece. And well, I did a temporary fix. I put 3M tape on it to hold the lens in, so when the bulb blows, I may or may not be able to get that lens back out of there. We'll see. It is what it is. But either way, I went through, cleaned up the third tire carrier, and I hit it with some rust converter last night before I went in. So it's actually in pretty good shape now. Let's get the hood up in the air, and let's start with the oil pressure sensor. Since it's sitting here, I'm trying to let it dry off some and drip off some before I put it up on the lift. The drain for the garage floor is back here, so the more of it I can get dripped off back here, the better off I am. But either way, let me get the hood popped open and we'll get in there and tear that oil sensor out. All right, so we are set up here. The O2 sensor is right, if you can see this, see my pointer here. It is way down here, right there, tapping it. That's the plug for it. So it's going to be fun to get in there, but let's get in there and get the plug off of it. I believe it is a 23 millimeter, or 27. Okay, so I was trying to figure out how to get my hand down in here to undo this plug, and the plug fell off. So that's how I did it. But anyway, let's try to get a 27 millimeter down there and see if we can't get that thing loose. Should hopefully not be that super tight. There she is. So there's the old one. So there's the new one. It is a CarQuest. It's 59C1003 is the part number. Let's see if we can't get her in there. It's going to be the fun part. Trying to find my way back down in there. All right, so my socket that I had, it's a O2 sensor socket, and it got twisted on this thing because it's not exactly right on the new one, and I couldn't get it out of it. I had to take the thing back out of there. Luckily I didn't have it in all the way, but I had to take it back out of there. And yeah, tap it into the socket further so I could get the thing loose. So we're gonna go micro turns and use this instead. This adjustable wrench instead. Get her tightened, because I'm not having that happen again. This little sensor was pricey. I mean, I could have got it off of that Jungle website a lot cheaper, but everything I read on them sounded like they weren't worth the hassle to put them in. They're just garbage. So I stepped up, bought one from a little bit more quality, I hope. Time to tell them that, won't it? I think I got it. Yeah, there it was. Oh, that was easy. No problem at all. I could do it again tomorrow if I had to. Okay, proof is in the pudding. Let me put the battery back in and we'll test that oil pressure sensor before we move on. pressure right there. We're at about 50 psi. That's a lot better than pegging it. Oh, I'm sorry, that's 60 psi. It's a lot better than pegging at 80. I'd say it's working now. Awesome. Okay, oil pressure sensor now works. Still waiting on the power steering pressure sensor. It was supposed to be here yesterday, but thanks to UPS, they sent it right past us to entirely another part of the state, and now it came back to us today, and it didn't get on their truck. So I'll probably see it Monday, I guess, at this point. Fun. What are you gonna? Okay, so the next thing I would like to figure out is this. So let's start tearing around in here and see if we can figure out what on earth is causing that. Pull that boot down. Get some of the stuff behind it. There we go. Now. All right, some behind it now. Listen to that. Now, oh my God, I got you all zoomed in. I don't think we're going to get her any quieter than that. All right, another job done. Let's get that put back together. All right, we got the Jeep up in the air. I'm under here. O2 sensor should be right in here somewhere. Yep, right there she is. There's the plug up there. If you can see it or not. That has a little prong on it. We should be able to just lift up on it and separate those. So there's not going to be room for you and me, so I'm going to set you down for a minute. All right, I got updates on the O2 sensor. I had to tear the cat Ford out to get to that thing. You could not get anything where they have this buried at. So the easiest thing for me to do, and luckily the clamp on the back and the bolts on the front there came right out. The nuts on the front came right out. So easier just to take it out. Now I can actually get a hold of this thing and tear it out of there. Got her. Screw that thing. Okay. Now something else I noticed while I had this, get this thing off of here. What else I noticed? Heard an exhaust leak, and now I saw that right where the muffler clamps in. Not a welder, but no more hole left. Now I just gotta kind of flatten it out a little bit so it'll sleeve on there fine. Okay, we got her all back together. O2 sensors both installed, or reconnected. New O2 sensor installed in the front bank. Everything is tightened back up. The exhaust is back on, and I'm not gonna lie to you, in order to take that exhaust off, it runs out through here underneath this skid plate, which is also the transmission mount, and it's also, to get it back on, you have to line up these 4 bolts first and then get the bolts down each side. And try doing that by yourself. I mean, I had jack stands up in here and twisting and torquing, but it's all together. Everything is just wet, but I don't know if it's leaks or if it's just because it was outside in the weather and everything is just dripping everywhere. I've already squeegeed this floor a couple times, but either way. So that's all the parts I have for now. With the weather we have outside, this bad boy is getting pulled back outside, and the other 2 vehicles are coming back in so that they can stay warm and dry, because they're the ones we actually use to go places. So that's going to be it for tonight, and until I get the rest of the parts in, that'll be all I get done. But then we'll go over everything and we'll see if we still have an exhaust leak, which I think we're going to, because where the exhaust mounts to the manifold, that donut looked good, but the 2 bolts that hold it in, I could not get those to tighten up. And I didn't feel like trying to knock them out at this hour of the night and put new ones in. So it's easy enough to get to that. So that's probably what I'll end up doing here before we finish up, is I'll just knock that out, put 2 new bolts in if I can. But I didn't, like I said, I don't want to fight that tonight. So, all right, we'll bring you back as soon as I get some more parts. I haven't received the power steering pressure sensor yet, but I do have the part I need, the last part I need for the heater, which is the heater, the motor resistor, the blower fan resistor. So let me show you what we got going on with it. Let's turn this on to here. One more. So fan is on high. I have it down on the floor, I guess, yeah. But it doesn't change. And there it goes. It's on. It's backward. Goes to medium. That's the only one that gives me any real fan speed. So I'm going to try changing out this resistor and see if that fixes the issue. The first thing I need to do is get the light on. First thing I need to do is I need to take this cover off. It is right behind it. Oh, okay, that cover's off. Okay, that cover's junk, because you can't glue it back together later. But all right, it's off. So right there it is, and it should be 2 8mm bolts. Take that out of there. So let's see if we can't get you guys set up somewhere you can. She's in there. Let's see how she does. See if we affected any change or not. That did nothing. Okay, I've been doing a little more digging on the heater, the blower motor, and I think I may have found my issue. Here's the plug. And I don't know if you can see, but that is one of the prongs that is supposed to be, pardon all the bounce around. That is one of the prongs that's supposed to be right here. Yeah. That is definitely no bueno. So, I think I'm gonna need a new one of these. That's in pretty rough shape. All right, we are back on the TJ project. We're still working on the HVAC unit here. This is the new one. The old one, if you recall, see on here how badly melted that one is, right there. So, also, I noticed that, and let me just grab it for you. I noticed on the other side there that the plug on it had melted as well. I don't know how well you can see that, but that's all melted right there by my finger. Yeah, you kind of see it there. Bad shape. And the only place I could find a replacement for it was at the dealership for this particular plug, and it would have been a pigtail, mind you, but it was $80. So we weren't doing that, so we did some shady stuff instead. And I put a piece of shrink tube on the center. There's 3 plugs here. I put a piece of shrink tube around the center one, squeezed all the others so they were good and tight, since there's no way to lock it in, and then we put tape around it, and there's a couple of zip ties to hold everything together and hold it down. So it's sketchy stuff, but it works. So now what we're going to do is take that plug off, and I ordered the new one off of Rock Auto, and they're lovely enough to send the pigtail with all the same color wire. All right, so wiring is boring. I was going to just unpin these from the original plug, but then I was worried doing that. I could get them out of that without an issue. I was worried these aftermarket plugs, I was worried I was going to break it trying to unpin some of these, which you shouldn't, but who knows. So instead I just got this big old thing here with a boa snake with or just ate a mouse, but it is what it is. There's plenty of room back in here, so we're going to get that tucked back in there. Everything else is still connected like it's supposed to be. Let's put her in and see how she works. Hey. All right, that's all working. That's working. That's working. There we go. Now we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. Okay. Perfect. Last thing we got. Get that out of there. Last thing we got to do is change out. We got to change out this. We got to change out this bad boy right here. All right. We did get our part in from Advance. It is a CarQuest. Part number is SA. Can't read that. Part number is SAA 3762. This is a power steering pump pressure sensor. It takes a 22, you see it right here is where it's at. I don't know how well you can see that. See if I can get you over here a little bit. Right here. It's a 22 millimeter to unscrew it. And then we got the plug on there yet. See if I can get this light out of my way a little bit. Ugh. All right, there we go. That's in there. All right, I am going to call it quits for tonight. We are going to take this thing for that test drive, but we're going to do it first thing tomorrow. It is dark, it is cold, and it is snowy. I don't feel like driving around in the dark, cold snow. So we're going to do it after daylight tomorrow. See if everything's fixed now and ready to rip and tear. All right, here we go for our second attempt at a test drive. I got a co-pilot today though, so this is going to go much better. Probably recognize Kyle. He was in our Will It Run Honda Goldwing video and the Bronco Furnace video. And if you watch Heirloom Outdoors, he's on their videos. You should watch Heirloom Outdoors. It's a good wholesome hunting video channel. We're moving. Up to 30. Seems barely sketchy at all. And yes, let's see if we got brakes. Oh my. Perfect. Good. Check engine lights, not on. Good. Engine temp looks good. Oil pressure. Good. All the gauges are gauging. Got half tank of fuel. I mean, this big four cylinder is going to suck that down on the flat. Once you don't over throttle it here through the turn, end up going back the other way. Power this thing, flipping out. Whoa, 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 whoa. Horsepowers. What a snippy. Gravelly. Our destination? Parts store. Get a new turn signal or brake. What is it? Running light. Our running light in the rear is out. We got a turn signal, we got a brake. We're missing a running light. Plug for the differential. Yeah, and a new, softer, more pliable, oh look, rear diff. This thing here vibrating to make you just about sick. Interior tour. And that's the interior. It's a Jeep, ain't much room in here. Well, guess what? We made it back. Successful trip. Let's get her in the garage. Take a look. Make sure nothing fell off. We're actually in better shape, I think, than when we left. We have all our lights. Didn't have any money when we got there. Headlights? Oh, you ready? You ready for it?
Get that one going. Oh, that is bright.
Those are kind of aiming the wrong way. Successful test drive. We drove it about 15 miles. Had no check engine lights come on. No major operating issues. It drove down the road really smooth. Track's straight. It has your typical Jeep sloppy steering. But we're going to say that that's probably going to do it for this video. We got plenty more to come on this Jeep. We're going to put some decorations on it now. We're going to try to pretty it up. I still have to finish the floor on the driver's side behind the seat, the hole, and then that frame on the body, or the body mounting rail, the back half of it, or the back quarter of it, where it's past where it mounts, but it's rotted out there. So we're going to get that fixed up on the next video, along with some body modifications I want to do to it, and we'll see what else we get. But on this one, I think we came a long way. We got the heat working properly. We got an O2 sensor replaced. We got the power steering pressure sensor replaced, oil pressure sensor replaced. We did put a head or a tail light bulb in this today, and yeah, I'm sure I'm missing something. It's been a whirlwind of fun with it so far. Let's keep, but that's going to do it for this video. So if you liked it, please consider hitting that like button. It goes a long way towards helping the channel. Also, consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future videos. Both of those things help me out immensely as far as the channel goes. I'm trying to build the channel. It's slow going, but it is going, and I do appreciate all of you that have already subscribed, and I appreciate all of you that watch. Either way, thanks for watching. Tim, Headgear Garage. Hope to see you on the next one.